What's up guys, it's me Mr. Pokemon and this is just a little warning message, if you want to call it that. From now on, every time I do a Creepypasta video, I will be adding these warning messages in, just to tell you if you don't want to either A, ruin your childhood, B, have nightmares, C, not go to sleep at all, or D, all of the above, then I will be putting these messages up before the actual video goes up. So this message is obviously about, if you don't want to ruin your childhood, about the cartoon SpongeBob SquarePants, please leave right now, because I will be talking about, well, a creepypasta about SpongeBob SquarePants. So that is why I put this message up. Well, that's it, and now I hope to see you guys in the actual video, which is going up right now after this message. See ya. What's up guys, me Mr. Pokemon 619. Hopefully you saw the message before this, because if you didn't, then why didn't you? I want to know. But if you did, then you should know. No, if you did, then all of you who are watching this video right now, after the message, want to stay around, and if you've already read this creepypasta, then that means you've already got your childhood ruined, and that means that you already want to, well, if you already got your childhood ruined, that means you don't care and you want to watch this video. But if you haven't, then please leave, then please, I even said please. If you do not want to get your childhood ruined with the show SpongeBob SquarePants, please leave right now, because I'm going to do a creepypasta on SpongeBob SquarePants. Actually, more specifically, this is about Squidward. Okay, now let me just get my. Okay, yeah. Before I get my serious reading voice on, I will be talking about, well, just saying the title. The title of this creepypasta is Squidward's Suicide. Enough said. Anyway, so let's get right on to the video. Oh yeah, and like, well, I can't even say he's like the player, because he's just an intern at Nickelodeon. Anyway, yeah, so let's just forget what I said in like the last 10 seconds, so let's just get right on. I just want to start off by saying, if you want an answer at the end, prepare to be disappointed. There just isn't one. I was an intern at Nickelodeon Studio for a year in 2005. For my degree in animation, it wasn't paid, of course. Most internships aren't. But it did have some perks beyond education. To adults, it may not seem like a big one, but most kids at the time would go crazy for this. Now, since I work directly with the editor and the animator, I got to view new episodes days before they were aired. I'll get right to it without giving too much unnecessary detail. They had very recently made the SpongeBob movie, and the entire staff was somewhat snapped of creativity, so it took them longer to start up the season, as most of them do. But the delay lasted longer for more upsetting reasons. There was a problem with the Series 4 premiere that set everybody and everything back for several months. Me and two other interns were in the editing room, along with the lead animator and the sound editor, for the final cut. We received the copy that was supposed to be Fear of the Krabby Patty, and gathered around the screen to watch. Now given that it isn't final yet, animators often put up a mock title card, sort of an inside joke with phony, oftentimes lewd titles, such as I'm not going to say that because I want this channel to be kid-friendly, so if you guys want to know what that is, it's just... I'll link it in the description below if you want to read it for yourself. And there's also a video at the end if you want to watch it. So yeah. Instead of Rockabye Bible, when SpongeBob and Patrick adopt a baby sea scallop. Nothing particularly funny, but work-related chuckles. So, when we saw the title card Squidward's Suicide, we didn't think it more than a morbid joke. See, because... yeah, never mind. One of the interns did a small throat laugh at it. The happy-go-lucky music plays as is normal. The story began with Squidward practicing his clarinet, hitting few sour notes. When we hear SpongeBob laughing outside and Squidward stops, yelling at him to keep it down as he has a concert that night and needs to practice. SpongeBob says okay and goes to see Sandy and Patrick. The bubbles splash up on screen as we see the ending of Squidward's concert. Where this is when things began to seem off. While playing, a few frames repeated themselves, but the sound doesn't, at this point, sound like it's synced up with the animation. So yes, that's not common. Anyway, but when he stopped playing, the sound finishes as if the skip never happened. Then there's some slight murmuring in the crowd before they start to boo him. Not normal cartoon booing, like that's common in the show, but you could very clearly hear malice in it. Squidward's in full frames and looks visibly afraid. The shot goes to the crowd when SpongeBob is in the center frame. He is also booing, which is very unlike him. That isn't even the oddest thing, though. What is odd is that everybody has hyper-realistic eyes. Wait, where are we again? Sorry. Has hyper-realistic eyes. Very detailed, clearly not shots of real people's eyes, but something a bit more real than CGI. The pupils were red. Some of us looked at each other, obviously confused. Well, who wouldn't be? But since we weren't the writers, we didn't question its appeal to children yet. The shot then goes to Squidward sitting on the edge of his bed, looking very forlorn. The view out of his porthole window is a night sky, so it isn't very long after the concert. The upsetting part is that at this point there is no sound. Literally no sound. Not even the feedback from the speakers in the room. It is as if the speakers were turned off. Though the status showed them working perfectly. He just sat there, blinking in the silence for about 30 seconds. Then he started to sob softly. But he put his tentacles, over his eyes and cried quietly for a full minute more. All the while, a sound in the background very slowly growing from nothing to barely audible. It sounded like a slight breeze through the forest. The screen slowly begins to zoom in on his face. By slow, I mean it is only noticeable if you look at the shots 10 seconds apart, side by side. His sobbing gets louder and more of hurt and anger. And full of hurt and anger. The screen then twitches for a bit, as if it twists in on itself. For a split second, and then goes back to normal. The wind through the trees sound gets slowly louder and more severe, as if a storm is brewing somewhere. The eerie part is the sound, and Squidward sobbing sounded real. As if the sound wasn't coming from the speakers anymore, but the speakers were holes in sound, and the sound was coming through from the other side. As good as sound as the studio likes to have, they don't purchase the equipment to have that good. To be that good, to produce sound of that quality. Below the sound of the wind and sobbing, very faint, something sounded like laughing. It came at odd intervals and never lasted more than a second. You had a hard time pinning it. We watched the show twice, so pardon me if things sound too specific, but I had time to think about them. After 30 seconds, the scream blurred out, then twitched violently as something flashed over the screen, as if it were a single frame was replaced. The lead animator paused and rewound frame by frame. What we saw was horrible. It was a still photo of a dead child. He couldn't have been more than 6. The face was mangled and bloodied, one eye dangling over the unturned face. Popped. He was naked down to his underwear, his stomach crudely cut open, and his entrails laying there beside him. He was lying on some pavement that was probably a road. The most upsetting thing was that there was a shadow of the photographer. There were no crime tapes, no evidence tags or markers, and the angle was completely off for shot design to be evident. It would seem the photographer was the person responsible for the child's death. We were, of course, mortified, but pressed on, hoping that it was just a sick joke. The screen flipped back to Squidward, still sobbing, louder than before, and half body in frame. There was now what appeared to be blood dripping down his face from his eyes. The blood was also done in a hyper-realistic style, looking as if you touched it, you'd get blood on your fingers as well. The wind sounded now as if it were that of a gale blowing through the forest. There were even snapping sounds of branches, the laughing, the deep baritude, lasting at longer intervals and coming more frequently. After about 20 seconds, the screen again twisted and showed a single frame. The editor was reluctant to go back. We all were, but he knew he had to. This time, it was a photo of what appeared to be a little girl, no older than the first child. She was laying on her stomach, her buried in a pool of blood next to her. Her left eye was too popped out and popped. Naked except for underpants, her entrails were piled on top of her, above another crude cut along her back. Again, the body was on the street, and the photographer's shadow was visible, very similar in size and shape to the first. I had to choke back, vomit, and one intern, the only female in the room, ran out. The show resumed. After 5 seconds, about 5 seconds after this, the second photo played. Squidward went silent, as did all sound, like it was when this scene started. Put his tentacles down, and his eyes were now done in hyper-realism, like the others were in the beginning of the episode. They were bleeding, bloodshot, and pulsating. He just stared at the screen as if watching the viewer, watching you. After about 10 seconds, he started sobbing again, this time not covering his eyes. The sound was piercing and loud, and most fear-inducing of all, that his sobbing was mixed with screams. Tears and blood were dripping down his face at a heavy rate. The wind sound came back, and so did the deep-voiced laughing. And this time there was a still image, lasted for a good 5 frames. The animator was able to stop on the floor and backed up. This time was a picture of the boy, about the same age as the other two. But this time, this scene was different. The entrails were being pulled out from the stomach, what appeared to be a large hand. His right eye popped and dangling, blood dripping down him. The animator proceeded. It was hard to believe, but the next one was different. We couldn't tell what. He went on to the next, the same thing. He wanted to go back to the first and play them quicker, and I lost it. I vomited on the floor. The animator and the sound editor gasping at the screen. The 5 frames were not as if they were 5 different photos. They were played out as if they were 5 frames from a video. We saw the hand slowly lift the guts. We saw the kid's eye focus. We even saw 2 frames of the kid beginning to blink. The lead sound editor told us to stop. He had to call in the creator to see this. Mr. Hillenberg arrived within about 15 minutes. He was confused as to why he was called down here, so the editor just continued the episode. Once the few frames were shown, all screaming, all sound again, stopped. Squidward was just staring at the viewer. Full frames of the face for about 3 seconds. The shot quietly panned out, and the deep voice saying, "Do it!" As we see in Squidward's hand, a shotgun. He immediately put the gun in his mouth, pulls the trigger, and realistic blood and brain matter splat on the wall behind him as his bed, and he flies back with the force. The last 5 seconds of the video shows the body on the bed, on his side, one eye dangling on what's left on his bed, on his head, above the floor, died blankly at it. Then the episode ends. Mr. Hillenberg is obviously angry at this. He demands to know what was going on. Most people by this time have left the room, so it was just a handful of us to watch it again. Viewing the episode twice only served to imprint this entirely into my mind. Of course, my horrible nightmare. I'm sorry I stayed. The only theory I could think of this was file was edited by someone in the chain from the drawing studio here. The CTO was called in to analyze it when it happened. The analysis on this video did show it was edited over by new material. However, the timestamp of it were mere 24 seconds before we began viewing it. All equipment involved was examined for foreign software and hardware as well as glitches, as if the timestamp may have glitched and showed the wrong time. But everything checked out fine. We don't know what happened to this. No one does. There was an investigation, due to the nature of the photos, but no one came to it. No child was identified. No clues were gathered. The data involved. No physical clues in the photo. I never believed in unexplainable phenomena before. But now that I have something happen and can't prove anything about it beyond anecdotal evidence, I think twice about things. So that was Squidward's suicide. Hopefully most of you did not leave this video halfway through after seeing that first picture of that dead child. Yeah, so hopefully if you watch this video, I did put a warning on, and hopefully your childhood was... I did put a warning up saying that if you don't want your childhood to be ruined, then please leave. If you did stop and watch this video, then hopefully you sleep well tonight, because I know I am not. You know, I had this creepypasta for like 2 or 3 times, but I'm still gonna have nightmares. Okay, and I know there was a few cuts in between because, see, I'm not home alone. Someone else is in the house, so see, I got interrupted about 3 times. So that's why those little cuts of this. So yeah, okay. Now this is what I'm gonna do for every creepypasta. I'm gonna read it to you guys, and then I'm gonna tell you what I think about it. Okay, what do I think about Squidward's suicide? First things first. This is fake. Obviously, most creepypastas are. Yeah, so this is fake. Why is it fake? Obviously, because if it was not fake and and the episode actually did come up as Squidward's suicide, and it obviously showed everything, what you just heard in the video. I mean, why do I keep calling him in the episode? Don't you think SpongeBob would be cancelled everywhere and stop making like the new episodes and stuff? Don't you think that would happen? Yeah, it would. So that's why I say it's fake. But somebody still put a video up just saying that it's real stuff, you know. If you wanna why can I not, even in the creepypasta I even stuttered a little. If you want to watch the video, I will leave it in the description below. It is on the Creepypasta wiki along with Squidward's suicide. So if you want to read it yourself and watch the video, it is right at the end of the Creepypasta. So if you just scroll down right to the end, you'll see the video. Yeah, so what do I think about it? Obviously, 1, it's fake. 2, it is definitely creepy. I like it I like creepypastas that obviously go from, like, you know, being at the beginning being obviously all normal and stuff, you know, just normal, peaceful, and then to the middle where it's like, you know, suspenseful and stuff, and then at the end it's just like boom, creepy, boom, mind blown, stuff like that. You know, those creepypastas I like. Like, obviously, if there's just a creepypasta where it's all creepy at the beginning and then like all calm at the end, it's just like, no thank you. I don't like them creepypastas because, you see, obviously you're gonna read the beginning first, so it's just like all creepy stuff happens. Like, oh, one day I played this video game and then a video game character, and then the evil spirits were controlling it. Like, what am I talking about? Here's an example of one. Oh, one day I got this game from an old man who was giving it away for free, and I put it into my console and I played it, and then all creepy stuff was happening, ghosts were appearing and stuff, and then the video game villain came out of the TV and stabbed me. And then what happened after that? Oh yeah, then everything went back normal. What? Why would you like a creepypasta like that? Okay, so I like it from like beginning, normal, middle, suspenseful, a little suspicious, and then at the end, straight up creepy. Okay, so what else do I think about it? Obviously it's fake. It's really good creepypasta. It is a lengthy one, obviously, because it's like, what, 25 minutes now? It is a lengthy creepypasta. Not the lengthiest creepypasta I like, but it is lengthy. And, obviously, well, it does destroy your childhood of SpongeBob, and it's the lost episode creepypasta. There are more lost episode creepypastas like Ed and Eddie lost episode. What else? I think there's Squidward Suicide, Ed and Eddie, and I'm trying to remember which others. I don't remember which other lost episodes there were, but they are good. Some of these creepypastas are really good, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys enjoyed today's creepypasta. I'm hoping to do them daily for the rest of Halloween month. This will be the official first Halloween month video. And yeah, what do you guys think about it? Please tell me what you guys think about it in the comments below. Do you think, well, obviously it's fake. I was about to say, do you think it's real or fake? You know, some people might think it's real. So do you think it's real or fake? What do you think about it? Like, you know, and what would you rate it? Like, you know, what would you rate this creepypasta? For me, I will give my rating 7 out of 10 for this creepypasta. Yeah. So, okay, in the comments below, what do you think is real or fake? What do you think about this creepypasta in general? And what would you rate it? And if you have any more suggestions for creepypastas, please leave in the comments below. This has been me. This has been me, Mr. Pokemon649. And I'm out. It's the end of the video. Bye.